As of the recent years, mascot horror has taken over the horror franchise almost completely ever since Five Nights at Freddy's was released in 2014. We've had games such as Poppy Playtime, Garson of Banban, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and just of recently, Indigo Park. In my humble and hopefully non-controversial opinion, mascot horror games are some of the best horror games I have ever played, but they are also some of the worst horror games in the market as of currently. When FNAF released all those years back, it completely revolutionized horror games everywhere, and it's true, everyone and their mum was talking about FNAF when it released. And I believe it was the initial birth of mascot horror. And with that came many games trying to replicate what FNAF had, trying to bring that terror into their own very games. Some games successfully did okay with it, and some games did absolutely terrible. And then there's some games that stand out from the crowd, and that's what I'm talking about today with Indigo Park.
Indigo Park offers a slice of the American dream to call
Indigo
your
Park
own.
is obviously another mascot horror game. It has everything a mascot horror game needs to be. Seemingly child-friendly mascots as the main stars of a restaurant or a theme park of some sorts. In this instance, it's set in a theme park, named Indigo Park, obviously stated by the name of the game. The only thing maybe a little different about Indigo Park is that this theme park is completely abandoned. Not a single human was ever seen in the first chapter of this game, only you, and the presence of some dark mascots. At the very start of the game, there is a cutscene introducing the game. For 2 screens in the intro video, we see a chat with the main character and someone else. It seems the main character, the person you play, is named Ed, and you're messaging a girl named Laura, who seems to be your partner in searching around abandoned places. Only this time, when you ask her to join you in searching Indigo Park, she declines, and you go alone. When arriving to the front gates of Indigo Park, everything is pretty much closed, and every main gate for entrance won't open, except one of the small doors open to something similar to a control room. Once we enter the room, a TV on the wall turns on, and this is where we meet the main mascot of the game, Rambley the raccoon. On nearly all screens or TVs in this game, Rambley appears to talk to us.
Uh-oh, the door mysteriously locked.
Now, like I said, Rambley is the main mascot in this game. We see him on nearly all screens in this game, and he seems to be a friend helping us throughout the first chapter, but I'm going to cover on this a little later as well. He directs you through the game and is your main interactions with anyone the entire game. There are a number of puzzles in the first chapter of Indigo Park, although they are relatively really easy. It's what is needed in a mascot horror game and is present in nearly all available. The first puzzle you were tasked with in Indigo Park is turning on the generator and is simply just finding the turning cog and putting it into the machine. This obviously was tasked to you by Rambley the raccoon, as nearly all things you do in the first chapter of this game is directed to you by Rambley. Rambley the raccoon also tells you that you are literally the first visitor in 2,920 days.
You're our first guest in 2,920 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes, and 38 seconds. Congratulations!
Meaning this theme park has literally been closed down for 8 years. Not a single person has entered the grounds for 8 years. After successfully turning on the generator, you finally get to enter the grounds of the theme park. And as I said before, everything is completely abandoned. Rambley directs you to a gift shop on the side of the open area, and in here is where you receive your very own critter cuff. This critter cuff allows you to open doors, get on rides, and pretty much just access the entire game. You can't do much without it. Actually, you literally cannot continue through the gift shop if you don't use your critter cuff, so yeah, use it. After receiving your critter cuff and leaving the gift shop, you'll start heading towards a train ride. But just before, you will notice a massive cave-in inside a tunnel that leads to the ride. Rambley says the park is going through renovations and you have no idea if he's telling the truth or not. On the ride, Rambley will introduce you to the main mascots in Indigo Park. Here, we only see a cardboard cutouts of the mascots, but as of currently, we are only being introduced to them. We meet Molly McCaw, Finley, who seems to have a major case of depression. We meet Lloyd, or better known as Lloyd L. Lion. We also kind of learn about a dislike Rambley has towards Lloyd.
Peter Lloyd.
But we have no idea why. Just before we meet Lloyd, there is a section open to meeting a new mascot, but instead of there being a mascot, it is completely broken down with no mascot to be seen. And just as we arrive, Rambley starts to glitch out and it is up to us to turn the power back on. While turning the power back on, we see Molly McCaw lying down on the floor as if she is dead, and it seems as she has crashed her plane once again. After finding all the cogs and putting them in the generator to start the power again, we move on in the train ride, and we enter the main section of the park. After entering the main area, you start to realize that there is literally nothing here. In the distance, we can see some rides we don't have access to yet, such as a large Ferris wheel, and in this area is where we are first introduced to the information kiosk. Rambley will call you over when you are near one for the first time.
Buddy, come over here.
I don't want to. Bye. On these information kiosks, you can get information on all the collectibles you pick up throughout the game. All the collectibles in the first chapter that you pick up are these plushies of the main mascot scene. And if you click on a collectible at the information kiosk, Rambley will obviously get you information about it.
Congratulations! You found me! me!
including him literally turning to an advertisement of himself. Pretty cool stuff. I also find it funny that one of the collectibles is literally just Rambley but gold, and Rambley takes note of this.
Hard to believe there was all that demand for a regular Rambley plush we just blasted with gold spray paint.
If you make your way to one of the rides called Jetstream Junction, Rambley will tell you that it's currently locked, and the only way to get inside is to obtain the key in the security room at the back of the theater. And the theater belongs to Lloyd, meaning we are about to get our very first mascot interaction, and we have no idea how it's going to go down. Over at the theater, you can enter using your critter cuff. Once inside, we can see Lloyd lying down on the stage, and after moving towards him, he will disappear with no trace. You will start heading towards the backstage to get the key, and Rambley will tell you that he can't follow with you, as he has no vision on the cameras in the backstage. Also, Rambley says that our critter cuff is not able to resuscitate us yet.
Your critter cuff is not yet able to resuscitate you.
Now, I have no idea what this means, but it's actually quite interesting, kind of foreshadowing what the critter cuff will be able to do in the future chapters. Walking through the backstage, you have to make your way through kind of a maze area, and here is where we actually meet Lloyd, trying to attack us straight away. Holy fuck! Boxes fall on top of him, and we see him move back and leave. After picking up the key and making your way back through the maze, you would try and use your critter cuff to leave, but as you do, Lloyd will come out and attack you, only being saved by your critter cuff making a loud noise that disturbs Lloyd. Hello? You leave the theater and make your way back to the Jetstream Junction. When entering Jetstream Junction, you can search around a little, and you can literally find a food menu on the screens which genuinely made me hungry. Like, look at that burger. That looks so good. If you continue to explore and end up in some soft drink bar kind of place, we can find an arcade machine where you can play a Mario Sonic inspired Indigo Park game where you play as Rambley, finding Molly McCaw as she crashed her plane somewhere. After finding Molly, we meet another mascot named Salim. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. You may think we haven't met this mascot before, but we actually have. Back in the train ride when we were being introduced to the mascots, in the broken down section of the ride which didn't have a mascot to show, there was a cutout of Salim on the ground, indicating that this was most likely her area, and she destroyed the place and escaped, foreshadowing that Salim may be the most evil mascot there is. Salim takes control of Molly, and after you fight Molly and win, the arcade machine crashes. Leaving the drink area and now heading up to the ride area, we find the ride destroyed, and Rambley indicating that he had no idea that this happened.
Looks like Molly crashed into the right again.
Although he apparently seems to have cameras everywhere around the park, and that's how he follows you around and speaks to you. So it seems odd that he had no idea that this ride was in this condition, or the whole park for that matter. It makes you think that maybe Rambley isn't the fun little raccoon he seems to be, and that maybe deeper searching needs to be conducted to see if Rambley is actually a good mascot or evil in disguise. Then Rambley tells you to go down to the landing pad. The landing pad is a ball pit, and here another puzzle is given to us, to select the correct shapes on these boxes. Once we enter up the slide to begin the puzzle, we get the first appearance of Molly McCaw running past us, but this time she isn't dead in a room, she is alive and moving. The puzzle consists of finding the colors of the boxes on the walls of the play area and matching them with the shapes. Once you find them all and remember them, you enter them into the blocks at the starting area. After successfully matching the shapes on the boxes, a large door will open up leading to some stairs you can go up. Up here, it's silent and there's nothing around, and you go down the slide. In this next room, you will use your critter cuff and then travel down the corridor to another door. Once approaching the door, Molly McCaw will appear, and her main goal is to kill you. You go down the slides and run, and you better run fast because Molly runs much faster than you. So whatever you do, don't turn around. After running through the playground, you enter another corridor. While still getting chased, you'll go through a vent, and you'll eventually find Rambley on the screens again, and a murderous end to Molly.
There you are, buddy.
Shut up.
Wait, hold on. This won't step on me. Come on in, you step.
Was the door closed? I thought this was a kid's game. So yes, maybe this isn't all for kids. Rambley will act like nothing even happened until he cracks and tells you the truth.
Okay.
Rambley admits he knew the park has been abandoned for years and no one has shown up for a long time until you. He admits the whole time he knew everything but just wanted to give you the best experience at Indigo Park that he could give. He also says until you arrived, he couldn't access the other areas except for the entrance, explaining why he never knew about the condition of the park, but more on this later. He asks for your help on restoring the park and you partially agree. You follow through another broken down room where Rambley will close down a door right in front of you.
Uh-oh, that Rambley
Rambley's Wrangler's room is only accessible by Royal Wranglers.
Saying you aren't eligible to access it yet, which kinda makes no sense. If he wants your help restoring the park, why limit you? Why would he stop you from accessing areas possibly needed in the future? We enter another security room that has cameras around the entire park, and this is most likely what Rambley has access to and can see most of the time. You leave the building and go back up to the park's surface level, where we enter Oceanic Odyssey, which is Finley's area, which Rambley states on the train ride is closed down for repairs.
I hope you'll visit. I'm so lonely.
Oceanic Odyssey currently closed for repairs.
And this is where Indigo Park Chapter 1 ends. So there is an absolute ton to unpack and explain in this game, but one of the things I really want to talk about is Rambley. He is all in all a really suspicious character. Now what I'm going to say now is literally just a theory, and I can either be close to the truth or absolutely miles away from it, so take whatever I say now as just a theory. At the very start of the game, at the computer, Rambley states that it's Tuesday.
No worries, it's Rambley Tuesday.
But in actuality, it's Saturday. It says it on the monitor to your right. It actually says it twice. So either this is a mistake, or Rambley is just outright lying to us and has no shame in doing so. Also, like I said before, it's very obvious Rambley isn't a big fan of Lloyd. He seems really jealous of him in all honesty. And this may be because Lloyd has a loud and proud personality, and so does Rambley, but the only difference is that Lloyd is an actual mascot who can move around. Rambley is confined to a screen, and Rambley may genuinely be jealous of Lloyd and the attention he gains. Now, I know this is a long shot, but it's possible Rambley is in fault of the theme park's condition. Maybe Rambley did things to the mascot so the attention can be gathered back to him. And as I said before, Rambley won't let you in a number of buildings, which doesn't really make sense, as if he genuinely wants your help in restoring the park, why not just let us in everywhere instead of taking us on a desired path? Maybe there is something Rambley is trying to lead us towards, as he very obviously leads us to Oceanic Odyssey at the end of the game, which Finley could be inside, and we know how the mascots are acting at this moment. Also, as I said before, it's obvious Rambley could be very happily lying to you. So when he says that he's only confined to the entrance until we came along, he could very possibly be lying about that as well, and he could have had access to the entire park this whole time, and has known about the destruction of the park this whole time. Also, I'm pretty sure this means nothing, but at the end of the game, there is a song that plays that Rambley sings, and he sings a line about asking us if we gained his trust.
Did I earn your trust?
He could be deceiving us. I know it's a very long shot, but it's interesting to think about. Is Rambley actually evil, or is he a good mascot with genuine intentions? I guess we'll have to find out in the later chapters. I really enjoyed Indigo Park and am more than excited for the upcoming chapters. Please remember what I said in this video was just a theory from some of the information I gained while playing this. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you next week for my next one. Join my Discord if you'd like, the link is in my bio, and I'll see you all later. Adios.
Rambley?